The same applies to the so-called morphogenetic fields explored by Rupert Sheldrake, incidentally a further true pioneer of the new spiritual science. These fields cause rats in New York to learn a trick faster if other rats in Japan have been taught the same trick before. Apparently there is a spiritual field around the earth. The technical term of occultism is Akasha Chronic, where there is stored and made available everything that the creatures on earth have appropriated. Let us continue the research in the area of higher phenomena by looking at our own destiny. In the Book of Life, one must look for the manifestations leading to the understanding of the higher being. If you analyze your life scientifically, accurately, and without prejudice for a longer period of time, Agni Yoga recommends keeping a diary. You will find much of that what you commonly dismiss as pure chance carries a meaning and a purpose within itself. The invisible world takes part in the earthly life much more than is generally supposed. Advise people to pay attention to the multitude of small phenomena that usually go unnoticed, those that the limited mind calls coincidence or accident. One has to understand the essence of these manifestations without losing the ability to think rationally. You recognize there occur in your life encounters with people or events that are not accidental, but aim at leading you in a certain direction. The world of effects draws man into a current which carries him toward his destination. Man should free himself, the sooner the better, from his absurd ideas about the accidental nature of events. There is a cause in everything, and it is wise to find its source. You will find exactly that befalls you which reveals your difficulties, so that you may learn, train, make progress, and fulfill the mission of your life. Why else is there no life without suffering for anyone on earth? In biographies, it is highly instructive to trace the intervening circumstances which help to conclusively define a life task. It may be noted that many apparently accidental factors helped along in the predestined direction. As a matter of fact, not accident, but many profound causes contributed to such achievement. In this can be seen the participation of the subtle world. History shows there are men who have to fulfill a higher mission. A guarding hand watches over them, so that nothing can affect them until they have completed their task. Regularly, people receive hints from the world beyond and are rescued by the higher powers. Take the example of the woman who awoke at night screaming from a nightmare and thus waking up and rescuing from mortal danger her husband, a soldier who fought thousands of miles away on the Eastern Front. Only obstinate prejudice prevents people from understanding reality. So many people have been saved by indications from the subtle world. So many matters of state have been decided according to information from beyond. People are reluctant to imagine how many dangers are taking place around them. How many times have the higher forces and participants in the subtle world saved them? You receive, indeed, higher guidance from the leaders of this earth, the Brotherhood of Shambhala, or from your teacher or your guardian angel. Few realize that there exists a power beyond earthly considerations that can affect the flow of events. If people made an effort to carefully investigate the essence of events, they would discern signs of our influence. Observe, without prejudice, the course of world events, and you will see our hand. Read again the best biographies of world history, the greatest works of literature. You will notice how much the great spirits of all ages knew about this spiritual science. Precisely these works are regarded as the greatest, which succeed to reveal the higher reality, the profound context, the meaning and the functioning of the order in which we all stand. One cannot but feel that something over and above earthly reasoning guides the circumstances. People are guided far more often than they think. Just walk through life sensitively and with your eyes, or better your hearts, open. Then you will learn to notice such interventions from the spiritual world almost daily. The new divine science includes astrology, that is, the research into the influence which the celestial bodies exercise on our lives. Each of you has already observed that people born under a certain sign of the zodiac actually possess corresponding characteristic features. There are really lions, Libras, Ariuses, and Tauruses. Many sense the influence of the moon, especially at full moon. Why should particularly sensitive people not be able to feel the influence of the energies emanating from Jupiter or Saturn. Much discomfort that afflicts us has its cause in currents of cosmic energy. Astrology is a synthesis of intellectual and heart knowledge. A good astrologer should master, on the one hand, the natural sciences, in particular astronomy and mathematics, for the calculation of the position of the stars. On the other hand, he has to have a high sensitivity of the heart, without which an interpretation of the facts of natural science and their application to answer a particular question of a certain person in a given situation is impossible. Do not think that man is subjected to the influence of the stars like a slave. Astrology is about detecting harmful and useful influences so that you can adjust your conduct accordingly. With the help of the free will, you can turn adverse constellations into stepboards for your spiritual ascent. If you want to learn more about the topic, please read our booklet, What Does Agni Yoga Teach on Astrology? We are coming to the end of this broadcasting. Agni Yoga teaches there are no miracles. Nothing unnatural can exist above, beyond, or outside nature. Everything, absolutely everything, right up to God, is a part of nature. There can be nothing unnatural in nature. Humanity is terrified of everything so-called supernatural, forgetting that above that what exists, there can be nothing supernatural. Everything, absolutely everything, right up to God, is subjected to the laws of nature. Not without reason it is said that metaphysics does not exist, only physics. There will be no dividing line between physical and metaphysical, for all exists, which means that everything is perceptible and cognizable. Equally outmoded is the term metaphysics. All manifestations of nature, from the lowest to the highest, belong to the physical domain. It is only when physics is insufficiently understood that metaphysics exists. Therefore, all higher phenomena, all the miracles that Jesus and the saints have worked, must have a natural explanation. Phenomena of a higher order which we cannot explain by the means of today's science, are occurring daily. Every unusual earthly manifestation is a particle of the highest world, in other words, of reality. Each of you is familiar with such manifestations. You have either experienced them yourself or learned of them from a reliable source. If each person wrote down a description of something phenomenal that had taken place in his life, humanity could compile an extraordinary book in just one day. Everyone has had authentic glimpses into the supermundane, and many could provide revealing accounts. Not even a naysayer can claim that he could provide mundane explanations for everything that has happened in his life. Such experiences occur daily, and each one can be a witness to wonderful phenomena. The ancient principle applies: as in heaven, so on earth. All higher phenomena are accessible to a perfectly normal scientific explanation. They form an organic extension and continuation, a new dimension of our daily life, into which we did not yet penetrate with our narrow worldview. Without any miracles, you will find plain reality, and as with the prospector's pick, you will discover hidden treasures in the depths. One day, scientific explanations will be found, such as rays or vibrations emanating from persons or objects, which work in a hitherto unknown way and which can be felt if we develop our sensitivity, or more generally energies of a higher order not yet discovered, which people or objects can absorb or radiate or use. A miracle is a manifestation of subtler energies, forces that are not accounted for in schools of chemistry and physics. Miracle does not just mean levitation or loss of weight, phenomena that you have witnessed. The same subtler energies are utilized in life more often than people think, and these manifestations, being incomprehensible to the majority, ought to be studied. This is neither necromancy or spiritualism, but simply the science of the subtler energies. And thus, gropingly, we shall discover evidence of the action of the subtle energies in everyday life. Above all, it is the spiritual power of your higher self, psychic energy, that enables you to work miracles. For example, to heal spiritually, to read thoughts, to move objects, or to practice clairvoyance. For more information, please watch our series Psychic Energy. So-called phenomena are nothing but unrecognized psychic energy in its various manifestations. The more your consciousness grows, the more you will be able to recognize, explain, and consciously use the so-called higher phenomena. You just have to remove the word impossible from your vocabulary and instead confirm confidently, you can do everything. Everything is possible. A part of the immeasurable field of the expansion of consciousness is the penetration into yet further spiritual realities, which we will treat in other broadcastings, such as, for example, the development of the consciousness of your immortality, the cognition of the supermundane world, your connection with the higher world in meditation, and your participation in the life of the spiritual world.